If you are driving a car right now, there is roughly a 1 in 4 chance it has a safety defect the manufacturer already knows about, already has a free fix for, and already promised federal regulators it would repair. In 2025 alone, automakers recalled more than 29 million vehicles in the United States, close to the entire population of Texas, all in a single year. So if the fix is free and the manufacturer is legally required to offer it, why do so many of those cars stay right where they are, unrepaired? And what actually happens to the ones that never come back in? Every recall starts the same way, with a manufacturer or a federal investigator at the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration identifying a pattern of failures tied to a specific part or defect. Once that link is confirmed, the automaker has to notify every registered owner by mail using the vehicle's identification number, and the repair itself is always free, no matter who bought the car or how many owners it has had since. That system sounds airtight on paper. In practice, the average recall completion rate across all manufacturers sits at around 45%, and older vehicles fall even lower, closer to 50% at best. Roughly 1 in 4 cars on American roads right now has at least one open, unrepaired recall attached to it, sometimes without the current owner ever knowing. The first crack in the system is simply that notices get lost. Recall letters go to whoever is the registered owner on file, so if a car has been sold privately since the letter went out, the new owner may never see it at all, because private sellers are not legally required to disclose an open recall the way a dealer sometimes is. The second crack is time itself. NHTSA's public lookup tool stops reliably tracking recalls after about 15 years, which means an older car can carry a known safety defect for over a decade while slowly becoming invisible to the very system built to flag it. Cars that do get flagged usually follow one of 3 paths from there. Most go straight to a dealership for the free repair, and the case simply closes. A smaller number get repurchased entirely by the manufacturer when no fix is possible, essentially a forced buyback. And a large, quiet number just keep driving, changing hands at used lots and private sales for years, the defect riding along in the background of every new owner's daily commute. Here is the part nobody tells you when this system gets described as self-correcting. In 2004, engineers at a Japanese airbag supplier called Takata pulled 50 used airbag inflators out of scrap yards and ran secret tests on them. 2 of those inflators cracked and ruptured during testing, exactly the failure mode that would go on to kill dozens of people. Instead of reporting it, workers later said the data was deleted and the project quietly shut down. Not disclosed to regulators, not flagged to automakers, not acted on for another decade. The recalls that eventually followed became the largest in automotive history. 67 million airbags across 16 manufacturers, enough recalled airbags to put 1 in every car registered in Germany, with millions still left over. Takata pleaded guilty to wire fraud in 2017, paid a $1 billion criminal fine, and collapsed into bankruptcy the same year. The official story is that once a defect is found, the recall system catches it and the danger ends. The fuller reality is that a company can sit on proof of a lethal defect for a decade before anyone outside its own walls ever finds out. Even after a recall exists on paper, the danger does not automatically leave the road. In 2018, one Takata owner received a recall notice in the mail and declined the repair. In 2022, that same unrepaired airbag ruptured in a crash and killed the person inside. 4 years sat between the warning letter and the outcome it was written to prevent. That single case is not rare either. Federal regulators have had to issue outright do not drive orders for certain Takata-equipped vehicles as recently as this year, more than a decade after the first recall notices went out, because thousands of cars flagged back in 2013 are still sitting in driveways today, some now on their third or fourth owner, most of whom have no idea what is riding in their steering wheel. So the honest answer to where unfixed recalled cars go is nowhere unusual at all. They stay on the road exactly like every other car, resold at used lots, inherited by teenagers learning to drive, parked in driveways in humid states where the defect gets worse the longer they sit. The system that is supposed to catch every one of them depends entirely on a piece of mail reaching the right address and a busy owner actually acting on it, and roughly a quarter of the time, one of those two things quietly fails. If a company can already know about a fatal defect for a decade before anyone outside acts on it, it makes you wonder what actually happens to medicine that expires while still sitting on a shelf somewhere, waiting for someone to notice. If this kind of hidden system is the sort of thing you want to keep seeing unpacked stage by stage, subscribing keeps the next one coming.